Welcome to the Milsurf Mike channel. I'm sitting here at the gym, getting ready to go do my run, drinking my pre-workout drink here. But I want to talk about something that's truly disappointed me here the last day or so. And it has nothing to do with all this Biden bullshit. It's one of my state's Gun 2A organizations that have really disappointed me with this newsletter they sent out. Now, if you watch my channel, you know at the end I say join the GOA, get $5 off with your membership with the link in my description. And if you aren't a member, join the GOA, get a $5 off the link in my description. But I also have always touted that you need to join your state's organizations because there's ones that do the actual fighting for you. And one thing that I look to see in a state organization before I join is how they deal with the NRA. Whether they have their own mind, don't compromise like the NRA, or whether they just, run lockstep with the NRA. Because the NRA has a penchant for coming in and stealing fundraising credit from these groups. So these groups kind of need the NRA so they can just get a little bit of that money, which is another reason I think the NRA needs to die. But now when I joined the Kansas State Rifle Association when I lived in Kansas, they always touted the NRA, and they didn't like any dissenting voices against the NRA. But I excuse that because the KSRA got results. Patricia Stone King was a damn warrior. Under her tenure, Kansas went from being one of the worst states in the union for gun rights to being one of probably the best state in the nation for gun rights. I mean, she got, barring getting rid of the NFA, she did everything she possibly could and got it in Kansas. So I will overlook that. I overlook that if they get results. But one of the groups I'm in Missouri, the Western Missouri Shooters Alliance, has made me question whether I want to renew with them. Now, I joined them just with the table at KCI, the KCI gun shows. I've been joining them every year at that table because they just have that table there every year. And one of their president and founder is one of probably the most respected 2A person in Missouri. He's one of the best 2A lawyers in Missouri. If you take a class, a concealed carry class in Missouri, you get to watch a video with him in Missouri. I mean, his name's Kevin Jameson, big long beard, very recognizable. But something he wrote in this last letter makes me question his and possibly the group's judgment when it comes to touting legislation and whether they're willing to compromise or not. Let me just go ahead and read this first sentence and the first paragraph of this letter, and just to give you an example. It is traditional in a president's column to warn of disaster and plots and threats. All these things exist. I choose to consider what has gone right. First, consider the tenure of Wayne LaPierre. For all the complaints about him, consider the results of his tenure. In the last 35 years, what have we lost? We lost bump stocks. We lost the national election. We won the other fights. They came for Saturday night specials and we beat them back. They came for 50 caliber rifles and we beat them back. They came for quote-unquote assault weapons and we beat them back. There's a license to carry system in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Some of these systems are terrible, but they exist and provide a basis for more. Stand your ground laws have been established in 3/4 of the states and the number is growing. Some of these laws are by statute and the rest are by judicial decision. Now, this letter continues to go on touting what our side has won in the last 50 years or 35 years. But my problem is that sentence, consider the tenure of Wayne LaPierre. Wayne LaPierre is the reason the NRA needs to die. The NRA has been nothing but constant compromise, really since their inception, but especially since the early 30s. And everybody talks about the takeover in the late 70s, but Wayne LaPierre really hasn't been much better than the previous NRA. I mean, the previous NRA actually helped write parts of the 34 NFA, and the president, his position of the NRA, I forgot the guy's name, but actually said that the 68 GCA was something that sportsmen could live with. So the NRA hasn't been that bad, but they've still done nothing but compromise. They compromised in 86 with the Hughes Amendment, but I might give that one a pass because that's the last time that there was actually a true compromise where gun owners received something in return for that. I'm going to probably do a video actually over the Firearms Owners Protection Act and the Hughes Amendment. But they've done nothing but compromise. The bump stock thing that he mentioned, that was something that didn't have to happen. President Trump wouldn't have known what the hell a bump stock was until LaPierre and Cox released their letter saying that we need to get rid of them by executive fiat and not let it go to Congress, which actually going to Congress, even though it's unconstitutional, but still, we need to let the legislature legislate, not do it by executive fiat. And that actually created a precedent that Biden might take the reins with and run of gun control by executive fiat. They compromised on red flag laws. That's something that Mr. Jameson forgot to mention, that 2 years ago, LaPierre and Cox called for red flag laws. And now the NRA, they're in fundraising mode, because you have a Everytown/ATF dude as the head of the ATF, or they're going to try to get him as the head of the ATF. So the NRA is in fundraising mode, but the NRA called for red flag laws. I made a video on it, and they pulled their video down from YouTube where Chris Cox called for red flag laws, but I have a snippet where he directly calls for it in that video, and I may put a link to that in the description. So this makes me question whether they're going to run lockstep with the NRA and compromise, or whether they're, going to think on their own and do what's best for Missouri gun owners. I don't know. I have to see what this group's results have been and whether the other group has got more results. I know the other group I'm in is more kind of under the way of the GOA thinking, no compromise. This group, I think, has done some good things, but I don't know, this capitulation of the NRA and praising Wayne LaPierre has me really rethinking my membership to him. So anyway, if you didn't hear me earlier, join the GOA, link in the description to get $5 off. Join your state's organizations, but make sure that they aren't running lockstep with the NRA. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.